Okay, today guys we're going to talk about complex rational expressions. The only reason why they're complex is that it usually involves both adding and subtracting and then multiplying and or dividing. Okay, so quick review though for multiplying and dividing, because we haven't done that in like 2 days, so hopefully you didn't forget. Multiplying, you can just start canceling. These is like they're together, they're pushed together, and then you cancel them. So this is like one big line with multiplication all up and down it. We can cancel, 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 cancel. My final answer is x plus 2 over x plus 7. And that should be x minus 2, because that's a minus. Alright, so that is the answer to that one. Dividing is very similar, but you have to rewrite it first. Dividing, you just flip the second fraction and make it multiplication. So the first fraction stays the same. Okay, so I can cancel out these x plus 2's, I can cancel out the x plus 5's, and that's all that cancels. So my final answer is x minus 3, another x plus 2 is left over, all over x minus 4. And that's dividing. Now, let's look at what complex is. Again, complex means there's adding and subtracting in there first. The key here is simplify the tops and bottoms first. So you want a fraction over one fraction. Notice how the bottom of this big fraction is two little fractions added together. So we have to do our LCD. You guys should see that our LCD is an x and an x plus 2. So this one needs an x plus 2 on the top and the bottom. This one needs an x on the top and the bottom. So now I'm going to rewrite this. The top part of the fraction doesn't do anything. The bottom now is x plus 2x plus 4. And then the bottom here is an x and an x plus 2. So now it's one fraction. I'm going to simplify it real fast. This turns into 2 over x plus 2 over 3x plus 4 over x times x plus 2. So the last step, remember, this is the same thing as saying this fraction divided by this fraction. So you flip the second fraction, or the bottom one, and multiply by the reciprocal. So this turns into 2 over x plus 2 times x plus 2 over 3x plus 4. Cross out our x plus 2's, multiply those out, and you get 2x over 3x plus 4. So that complex fraction, complex rational expression, now is simplified to one singular fraction. Again, simplify the top or the bottom first, and then go from there. So let's look at number 2. Number 2, same thing. We need to simplify the bottom first. Our LCD will have an x minus 4 and an x plus 1. You cannot just cancel these x minus 4's. You cannot do anything with the top until you fix this bottom first. So this is an x plus 1 over an x plus 1. This is an x minus 4 over an x minus 4. Now if this was subtraction, you also would have to distribute the negative, just like we did when we did subtraction. So this turns into 3 over x minus 4 all over x plus 1 plus 3x minus 12. I just multiplied these in and added them together. All over x plus 1 and x minus 4. So now I'm going to simplify it one more time. 3 over x minus 4 over, this becomes 4x minus 11. All over x minus 4 and an x plus 1. So now we do the multiply by the reciprocal. Notice how we have fraction over fraction. No pluses or minuses. There's minuses within these terms, but they're all factors. So now we can multiply by the reciprocal. And that's what we're doing. So 4x minus 11. So when we multiply by the reciprocal, we cross those out, and the final answer, now again, if you just leave it in factored form, which is fine, I don't mind, because that's what we're using, or you can multiply the top out, but do that correctly. 3x plus 3 over the fraction, or leave it as 3 times the quantity x plus 1. And that is the answer. Again, we simplified the bottom or the top first and went from there. Alright, last one. Why don't you guys try that one on your own first? And then we'll pause it and see what you get. And then I'll do it right now. The bottom, again, needs to be simplified. Sometimes you have to simplify the tops. It just happened that on this note sheet it's bottoms always here because of the just because. So x minus 1, and x's. So that's our LCD. Let's simplify that. Sometimes you'll have to simplify the top and the bottom too, which gets a little more crazy, but again, it's just an extra step. So this turns into 2 over x minus 1 all over 4x plus x minus 1 over x times x minus 1. I simplify. I get 2 over x minus 1 over, this is now a 5x minus 1 over an x times an x minus 1. Now you flip and multiply, so this turns into 2 over x minus 1 times x minus 1, because I flipped this fraction over 5x minus 1. Now you can cancel out terms. Again, these x minus 1's cancel, and that's it. You get 2x over 5x minus 1 is your final answer. You can't cancel those terms out. Again, you cannot cancel these x's out, because this is, you have to think of this as one term when there's a plus or minus, so do not forget that. And that's all complexes. So your second quiz is multiply, divide, add, subtract, and do a complex one. 5 questions. Should be pretty easy. You just got to take your time, factor correctly, and yeah, that's it. Alright, and that is all.